The Basque witch trials were a series of witch trials that took place in the Basque country, a region located in the Western Pyrenees in Spain and France, between the 16th and 17th centuries. The trials were part of the larger European witch hunt craze that lasted for several centuries and resulted in the persecution and execution of thousands of people, mostly women, accused of witchcraft. The Basque witch trials were characterized by the use of torture to extract confessions and the involvement of both secular and religious authorities in the prosecution of alleged witches. The trials began in the mid-16th century, with the first recorded case taking place in 1525, and continued until the late 17th century. During this period, many people in the Basque country were accused of witchcraft and subjected to brutal torture to force them to confess. The accusations often stemmed from personal grudges, envy, or fear of those who were different or considered to be outsiders. The accused were usually women, although some men were also accused. The reasons why witch trials were practiced are complex and varied, and are rooted in the social, cultural, and religious beliefs of the time. There are several theories as to why witch hunts occurred, including religious beliefs. Many people during the early modern period believed in the existence of witches, and saw them as a threat to their Christian faith. This belief was fueled by the Bible, which contained passages condemning witchcraft, as well as by the teachings of the Catholic Church, which saw witchcraft as a form of heresy. Social and political unrest. Witch trials often occurred during times of social or political upheaval, when people were looking for someone to blame for their problems. This was particularly true in times of war or economic crisis, when people were looking for scapegoats. Gender and power. Women were often the targets of witch hunts, as they were seen as more likely to be involved in magic and the occult. This was partly due to the fact that women were often seen as inferior to men, and were viewed as more vulnerable to temptation by the devil. Superstition and fear. Many people during the early modern period believed in the existence of magic and the supernatural, and were afraid of its power. This fear was often exploited by those who accused others of witchcraft, and was used to justify the use of extreme measures, such as torture and execution. It's important to note that these theories are not mutually exclusive, and that witch hunts were likely influenced by a combination of these factors. It's difficult to point to a single person who started the Basque witch trials, as they were part of the larger European witch hunt craze that swept across Europe for several centuries. However, it is known that both secular and religious authorities were involved in the prosecution of alleged witches, and that the trials were driven by a combination of factors, including superstition, fear, and a desire to maintain social order. The Basque witch trials eventually came to an end in the late 17th century, due in part to the efforts of some individuals who spoke out against the use of torture and the unjust treatment of the accused. However, the legacy of the trials and the persecution of alleged witches continues to be felt in the Basque country and beyond. Thanks for watching our channel. Do like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell icon for more interesting upcoming videos.